But no, the policeman comes and sits down next to me, and he looks at me, and he goes, "I need to take a statement now." And I say, "Do you really think this is an appropriate time to be taking a statement? You can clearly see that my knee's not attached to my leg. You can clearly see that I'm holding my leg in place. I'm asking you for some water, and you're sitting down next to me on one knee telling me that I need to take a fucking statement. No, what you need to be doing is getting me some fucking water and getting me down to a hospital and then taking a statement. Who the fuck takes a statement when you're in serious pain like that?" Anyway, I'm not going to get too angry about it because it's past and it's just ridiculous. Anyway, I've gone to pick up the police statement the next day, just in long story short, which again, I'm happy to go through the whole statement. I've got it all still to this day in another podcast or video, whatever you'd like to see. But he's essentially written in that police statement, "I was too drunk to cooperate." Let me just tell you one thing now, I wasn't too fucking drunk to cooperate. If something like that doesn't sober you up, then there's something seriously wrong. Anyways, I do eventually get on that ambulance, and I do eventually go to Son Espaces, the first hospital. And when I'm there, this is just a visualization for something that I want you all to just close your eyes and think about this scene. I arrive at this hospital, and there's 9 beds, and on 5 of the 9 beds, there's late teens there who are either unconscious or dead. And they've got froth coming out their mouths where they'd either overdosed, had too much alcohol, or whatever. I don't know. I had one lad next to me who was patting me on the shoulder, and he asked me, "Fuck, man, what happened?" And I said, "Look, I was beaten up tonight, and I don't know what's going on. So I don't know what the police are doing, don't know what the doctors are doing, what is going on." Anyway, he started getting upset, and he was like, "I'm so sorry, this is my fault. I'm taking away your time where you should be being seen because this was my fault on my way." And he told me that he'd taken a dodgy pill, and he'd passed out, and he'd had some sort of poisoning from it. And I said to him, "It's not your fault. Like, your situation is a completely different situation. It's isolated. Just focus on getting better, mate." And then he started crying, and he started tapping me on the back, and then I started getting upset. Anyway, that situation is quite powerful, because it's everything that you kind of see on these idiots abroad and these serious A&E accidents, and you hear situations of seeing people get killed on holiday or they overdose. But seeing it in the flesh of that many people, helpless, unconscious, out cold on the beds that they were on, it was such a surreal environment, and I can't really comprehend that. It was just a crazy moment. Anyway, I do then move in to see the nurse, who tells me I need to go next door and take the X-ray, but I need you to hold the X-ray machine. Sorry. So I've gone to a hospital where I'm holding my leg still in place, left, so it doesn't go from left to right. So my knee and my leg are like flat, and I'm also supposed to hold an X-ray machine. Right. Okay. Looks like Stevie Wonder's been at it again. What is going on here? Why am I getting treated by literally Lenny from Mice and Men? What is going on here? Seriously, what is going on? Anyway, she goes next door, she takes the photos, and she comes back with fucking bog roll. I shit you not, bog roll. Not a half cast, not a cast, bog roll. Yep, bog roll. She comes back with a fucking bog roll. So she wraps my leg with an entire fucking bit of bog roll. And at this point, I'm so confused. I'm just like, what the fuck? It gets better. It does get better, because when she's finished wrapping my leg with bog roll, she looks at me and she says, "So we've written a report, and we've written on there, it's time for you to fully weight bear. You can walk it off." Sorry? What's going on here? Me Spanish, not deaf. I cannot speak. What is going on at this point? Words. You know, I alluded to, like, Lenny from Mice and Men operating on me. That was what it felt like here. I felt like I was in some monkey house. What is going on? What is seriously going on? Anyway, she writes me this police report. This doctor's report. I asked for crutches. She goes, "No, you have to purchase them." I said, well, what can I purchase them with then? Because I had my phone stolen tonight. I don't have any money on me. So you can come back to the hotel with me, get my money, which I've got remaining, but I cannot give you any money right now. No, we can't do that. So to get me a taxi, Taxi takes me back to the hotel. I'm obviously in absolute bits. And yeah, I get taken up to the room by the Scottish couple who saw me get out the taxi, and they got me a wheelchair from the foyer at the hotel. And as I get out to the room, we wake up the boys, and look, they were obviously in disbelief as well. They were shocked, and they were very, very considerate, considering they had no idea of what had happened. Anyway, we come downstairs, and I call my mum, and I say, "Mum, look, I've broken my leg, and I've been in the hospital all night." And she kind of just was shocked, very upset. And she immediately spoke to Thomas Cook, and they sent a doctor out to come and see me. The Thomas Cook doctor then comes and sees me, and I honestly, he comes to see me in the room with my toilet papered leg, and he kind of eyes it up and down, makes an observation, starts writing, and I'm going, okay, don't know what he's doing here then. He pretty much writes, Dom's leg's in a really good position right now. He's going to be very weak for a while, but he needs to fully weight bear. What's going on? What is going on? Where are these doctors getting employed? How are they getting employed? What is the fuck is going on here? Because something is seriously wrong with their education system if two doctors have looked at my broken leg and gone, yeah, that's absolutely fine. It's either that or there's literally no morals on this planet anymore. That one or two, negligence just doesn't even come into it. Mental. Anyway, he's looked at it, he's told me to walk it off. I'm scratching my head thinking, what am I doing? Am I just deluded? Did any of this happen? What is going on? And yeah, the boys are pushing me around in a wheelchair for the next day, and my foot turns blue, so I call my mum again, and we go to the second hospital, and we go private, and we'll talk about that now. So yeah, he's essentially looked at me and said, look, walk it off. And I did feel very lost at that point, because what do you do how do you accept two doctors have told you that you're fine, knowing you're not? Anyway, I left it not 24 hours, it was till the next morning. The lads went out, they brought me back pizza. Thankfully, the first place, Son Espaces, did give me some codeine and plenty of morphine to kind of see myself through, because I couldn't eat because of where I'd landed on my jaw when I had my first attack. My jaw had swollen, so I was struggling to eat anyway, but thankfully I had that, so I could eat. And yeah, I woke up the next day and my foot started to turn blue, and it was getting worse, like much worse. And I called Mum again. I said, look, I'm gonna have to go private. So we go into town. We venture to this doctor's, who put us in touch with a private hospital. And I just want to big up one person here, Kane, before I go on, for your help this day. I owe you so much. You saw a different side to me, which no one will ever see. The pain and distress I went through at this second hospital is honestly unimaginable. I cannot describe the pain to anyone. I can only hear the screams. So, yeah, we'll get on with it. So yeah, we arrive at this private hospital, and they send me a British translator. And again, what the fuck is their employment system over there? Seriously, I mean, this is the kindest of hearts. She couldn't speak English. She could barely say hello and goodbye, and I'm just trying to converse with this woman to say, I'm dying. What do I do with my leg? I cannot walk. It's essentially it. They put me on a drip immediately because they could see that I was in a lot of distress. They were pumping me with morphine, and they sent me through to see the orthopedic team that they had on at the time. And they said they needed to operate tonight, but they couldn't tell me what they needed to operate on, because that translator, that communication wasn't there. I couldn't understand what they were trying to do with me. Anyway, at this point, what people haven't mentioned is when they took off the bog roll from the first place, my knee was at a 90-degree angle to my leg. So my leg and knee weren't attached. And what I didn't find out until I get back to the UK was I had sustained a knee fracture, a knee dislocation, and I'd also torn my ACL, PCL, and both cruciate ligaments, which ultimately meant the only thing holding my leg and knee together was my skin. Yeah. I didn't know that at the time. So when my bruised knee was completely purple, bruised knee. When my knee was purple and they started taking off this bog roll, I started immediately screaming the minute they touched it. And what I had to do is, in order to fly back the next day, was to have what they call a half cast. So I had one doctor holding my knee and one doctor holding my leg, and they were wrapping this half cast around me. And that pain in that moment is the worst pain I've ever had in my life. It was worse than injury. It was honestly excruciating. The words don't do the pain justice. And even to today, the only thing that kind of I can resonate with that night is my screams, because the pain I can't imagine the pain. I can only imagine the stress that I was in. I can only remember the pain I was in via the screaming. So I've got these two doctors half casting my leg, and they give an injection. They say you're fit to fly. So I'm due to fly back the next day. I've gone through the pain. I'm sweating buckets. I've got back to the hotel. I just want to have a sleep, and I couldn't sleep because the way my leg had been wrapped. And I'll try and attach some photos to the video. But I was sleeping upright on the kitchen, I was sleeping against the wall on the kitchen table, with my leg hanging down, because I couldn't lie flat. And yeah, my mum had organised at the other end for me to come back through the customs, so I wasn't queuing to get onto the flight and put all my luggage on. I could just go straight through. I won't discuss what happened on the plane, because that again is something that I think is for another video. But once I flew back, I went to Lister Hospital in Stevenage, and I waited for 4.5 hours. And truth be told, the orthopedic team who came out just after 9 had basically sworn at the nurse and said, "Why the fuck has this patient not been seen to?" And at that point, I kind of sunk completely. All my energy had gone. My remaining energy, that being everything. The room went dark again, like it's the same kind of feeling I had when I was outside, sitting there helplessly. I felt so lonely at this point, and the orthopedic team wheeled me through. My dad was next to me, and they said, "So Dom, with a situation like this, we usually have to take a vein from your other leg, which in this case would have been my right leg, and stick it in your left leg to get the blood flow circulating again." But they said this operation is not always successful, and it's basically a bastard to do. There's a very good chance you won't wake up without a leg. And I was being pumped with morphine at this time. I was a bit like, what are they talking about? I'm not gonna wake up with a leg. Kind of just playing dumb to the situation, I suppose, not wanting to listen to the truth. And saw my dad's face kind of drop, and I've never seen my dad show emotion like that ever. And my dad had said, "What do you mean, amputation? Where from?" And the orthopedic team turn and they say, "From his waist down." And I was like, "What the fuck? No, that can't happen. That's you're lying to me. You're lying to me." I started kind of joking about the situation because I was so high. Just, "No, you're bantering. There's no way you're gonna fucking cut my leg off. It's not gonna happen. I'm gonna be able to play football again. Stop chatting shit. I'm gonna be alright." And yeah, they say, "Right, to my dad, you need to go. We're gonna put him into theatre now." And they go, "Dom, count to 10, and yeah, you'll go under." And I said, while I was counting to 10 in my head, believe it or not, I can multitask sometimes. I said, "What do you mean? Like, I'll be able to walk again when I Like, I'll be able to walk again, won't I, Doc? I didn't call him Doc, but it just sounds cooler in this situation, doesn't it? I'll be able to walk again, won't I, Doc? And he goes, doesn't say anything. And I go, but I'll be able to play football again, right? Like, I will be able to walk again, I'll be able to play football again. No answer, and then I'm out. I'm out for the count. I wake up in the morning, leg underneath the duvet. So I had my parents next to me, but I kind of opened my eyes just before they kind of acknowledged that I was awake. And I didn't see my leg because it was underneath the covers, so I didn't know. I hadn't felt my leg for days, so at this point I didn't know if I had a leg or not when I first woke up. And then I started to move, and this doctor comes around the side, and it was literally something out of a film, and he looks at me and he goes, Dom, I can't believe what I've seen, but you could be a 1 in a million here. I was like, what are you talking about? He goes, I've never seen a knee injury as bad as yours, and the way your knee has reacted to being put back in place has been truly astonishing. There was 1,000,000 to 1 chance that you were going to have a leg in our minds last night. So the facts you do right now is an unbelievable comeback. I said, wow, great, like, what happens now? And he said, we're going to transfer you to Chelsea and Westminster in London, and we're going to take it from there. So I wait in Leicester for about 2.5, 3 weeks. Very lonely. Again, maybe that experience of my time in the hospitals I can speak about in another podcast. But I get transferred to Chelsea and Westminster in London, and the doctor that I had, oh my gosh, I love this man. He is a godsend, really is. He, believe it or not, this is the severity of the injury. I was given to a doctor who specialised in knee reconstruction, but he was the Rugby League Australian national support physio and doctor. So I was in good hands. You know what I mean? I was in the best possible hands you could possibly be in. And when I arrived at Chelsea, they'd obviously forwarded on the x-rays and stuff they took of the injury, and he couldn't believe it. Like, he was in shock. But he said to me, I've got 2 options, Dom. I can open up your hamstring and make synthetic ligaments to make your ligaments back, and we can go with that to try and give you the most stable knee possible. Or we try and do it in a natural way. So what he did was, and what we agreed on to give myself the best possible knee for the rest of my life, was to design a leg brace where the straps were coming across. Each strap was designed where, like, your ACL or PCL would be in your knee. So they grew back naturally, and I had to wear it every day for about 2 years. And it was a tough time. But once I had the leg brace and I was back in bed, in my hospital bed, that being, the next steps were along the lines of, we've got to try and get him to I needed to learn how to walk again. And that was, again, a process that was degrading. It really was. Being a 19-year-old boy, moving with a Zimmer frame, and nurses who are like 20, 30 years older than me, like either side of me, helping me move with a Zimmer frame. That was a very low point. That was seriously a point of my life where I didn't know where I was going. I felt so lost. Each day was just flashing by, and there was like no improvement for so long, and it was just such a difficult thing to kind of comprehend and put into perspective. Anyway, I speak to my doctor after the first couple of months, and he looks at me and he starts looking at the ligaments on the x-rays that he took again once I'd previously, like, just before I got discharged, and he goes, in the time that you've been back and the time you won a leg brace, like, I have to say, Dom, you're a bit of an enigma. I said, great, I'm fucking Wolverine, like, what happens now? I didn't say that, by the way. That's what I was thinking. And he goes, look, we're gonna put you on a rehab program, and we're just gonna take each week as it comes. But at the moment, the signs are looking really, really positive. He said to me openly, and he said to my dad, Keith, being my dad, your son had more of a chance of winning the Euro Millions than keeping his knee. Put that in perspective for a minute. That's fucking levels. Like, more of a chance of winning the Euro Millions than keeping my knee. What the fuck? What the fuck? Anyway, that's kind of the story. And what followed that has been an intense few years of rehab, finishing university, going through court cases, going through solicitors and other bits, which again, I'm more than happy to cover in another video if that's what people want to see. But I want to conclude with this. I'm internally grateful for all the love and support I've had through my injury. What I want people who are going away this year, next year, years to come, I want you to look at this video and I want you to be sensible in your approach. Take out the best insurance that covers you in every way, shape or form, because I didn't. I took out gold and that didn't cover me for assault or injury. It only covered me for theft. So do the right thing. Cover yourself, because you'll definitely, if anything does go wrong, it may not, and it may feel like money's been wasted. I'm telling you now, losing a few £100 out of precaution rather than, I don't know, 7 years out your life, ongoing, then it's 100% worth it. And just look at me. I can't play contact sport again. I'm not allowed to play rugby or football. I've only just started running again after 6.5 years properly. Don't let yourself be me. Learn from it and look after yourselves, because life is short, and it's this situation in the grand scheme of things has been not just life changing for me, but for a lot of people around me as well. So yeah, I want to say thank you to everyone who stayed for this long to listen to me waffle on. But it's been really, really insightful for me to get the feedback and understanding from how you guys perceive the way I talk and communicate throughout my injuries. So yeah, we're going to finish with, in other news, we've got 2 podcasts next week. I'm really, really excited. I am off work, so I might even do a couple of videos on the side as well. So stay tuned and follow me on all my socials, because I will be revealing who I've got coming on next week very soon. So big up to every single one of you, and I'll speak to you all soon. Thank you.